Welcome back to Elden Ring. We have a brand new patch notes and updates pre-release to the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. This is patch notes version 1.12 and there's a lot to go through. Many changes and many updates. Let's go have a look at exactly what's being changed. Let's have a look at something that we already know that's going to be out in the DLC. The brand new features included, 5 new hairstyles, some changes to the hairstyles, added map functions to the map menu, and also new summon and pull features. Some new inventory features like newly obtained items will be marked with an exclamation mark, a new tab called recent items has been added, and just little changes here. So these are PvP exclusive balance adjustments that I will be go ahead and read right now. So for the weapon adjustments, we have after being affected by madness and or sleep status effects, the status effect buildup will be halted for a short period of time. Increase the poise damage of some attacks against other players of the following weapon types: great swords, colossal swords, curved swords, great axe, hammers, flails, great hammers, colossal weapons, great spears, and halberds. Adjust poise damage of the sum of dual wield attacks against other players by the following weapon types: great swords, axes, great axes, hammers, great hammers, halberds, and reapers. Increase poise damage against other players from the dual wield attacks of the following weapon types: axes, hammers, and halberds and reapers. Increase poise damage of axes against other players. Decrease the damage of dual wield attacks against other players of the following weapon types. Decrease the poise damage of attacks against other players of the following weapon types: daggers, straight swords, thrusting swords, heavy thrusting swords, curved swords, katanas, twin blades, axes, spears, reapers, whips, fists, and claws. Decrease the poise value of some attacks motions against other players of the following weapon types: great swords, colossal swords, curved great swords, great axes, hammers, flails, great hammers, colossal weapons, great spears, and halberds. Decrease the damage of some attacks against other players for heavy thrusting swords weapon types. Decrease the damage of dual attacks against other players for the weapon types spears and great spears. Decrease the damage animation motion of the following weapon types when another player is stunned by a two-handed heavy running attack, fists and claws. Decrease the effect of Balchin's Blessing and Radiant Balchin's Blessings to increase the poise value of physical damage negation in PvP. Now let's have a look at some skill adjustments here. We have the Spin and Slash, decreased damage, Flame and Strike, decreased damage, Rain of Arrows, decreased damage and poise damage, Cursed Blood Slash, decreased damage, Transient Moonlight, decreased damage, Lightning Storm, decreased poison damage, Spear Call Ritual, decreased poise damage, Ancient Lightning Spear, decreased the damage, Radahn's Rain, decreased damage and poise damage, and Spinning Weapon, decreased damage animation motion when stunning the players. Here are some incantations adjustments: Black Flame's Protection, decreased physical block rate, and Bestial Sling, decreased poise damage. Here we have some general balance adjustments. These adjustments in this section affect both PvE and PvP aspects of the game. So here we have everything. Adjusted turning speed when using dual wielded heavy thrusting swords, increased dexterity scaling when assigning Ashes of War with the corresponding weapon affinities, increased stamina consumption when guarding against attacks of the following weapon types: great swords, curved swords, great axes, and great hammers. Increase the speed of some attacks of the following weapon types: axes, great axes, hammers, flails, and reapers. Increase the damage of charged attacks of the following weapon types: the axes, great axes, some colossal weapons. Increase the turning speed of normal attacks of the reapers weapon type. Increase damage of the whip weapon, except the Olmi whip. Increase the speed of consecutive attacks for the following weapon types: light bows and long bows. Increase the poise damage of the tortured weapon types. Increase the duration of the effect of Mog's Great Rune that increases the attack power when a bleeding status effect is triggered by a nearby summoned spirit. And then we have decreased the heal amounts reduction from the Flask of Crimson Tears and increase the heal on attack effect when using Melania's Great Rune. Increase the attack power of Arrow's Great Arrow Bolts, Great Bolts that can be crafted through item crafting. Decrease the turning speed of dual weapons for the following weapon types: spears and great spears, and decrease the poise generation speed duration some attacks of the following weapon types: and that will be the Great Spears and Halberd Spears. Decrease the effects that increases the power of spells of Terra Magica. Decrease the effect duration of the Cerulean Hidden Spear. And here we have some armament changes. The Troll Knight's Sword increased damage. The Zamor Curved Sword increased damage and increased movement distance of some attacks. The Forked Hatchet increased damage. The Ripple Blade decreased the status build-up enhancement that scales with the arcane attributes. The Serpent's Hunter increased the speed of crouching attacks. Ripple Crescent Halberd decreased the status build-up enhancement that scales with the arcane attributes. The Albinaric Staff increased attribute scaling. The Gelmir Glintstone Staff increased attribute scaling. The Prince of Death Staff attribute scaling has been increased. The Golden Order Seal, once again, attribute increased. The Clawmark Seal, once again, the attribute has been increased. The Dragon Communion Seal, once again, the increased attribute scaling. Here we have some skill adjustments. The Kick increased the poise amount when using the skill. The Spinning Slash decreased the status buildup of your weapon when using this skill. The Storm Assault decreased the poison generation speed. Storm Caller decreased the poise generation speed. Storm Stomp decreased the poise generation speed once again. The Glintstone Blade, Glintstone Phalanx, it decreased the damage of poise. And Loretta's Slash decreased the poise generation speed. Bloody Slash once again decreased the poise generation speed. Strong Shots increased the speed of some attacks. The Sky Shots increased the speed when doing consecutive attacks. Enhanced Shot increased the speed of some attacks. Parry increased the parry hitbox generation speed. Storm Wall increased the parry hitbox generation speed. Thop's Barrier increased parry hitbox generation speed. Puckler Parry added attacks recovery time after using the skill. The Taker's Flame decreased the fire's poise damage, removed the fire knocking down effect. The Moonlight Greatsword increased the poise damage of heavy charged attacks but decreased the poise damage of the generated magic wave. The Thundercloud Form decreased the poise damage. The Magma Shower decreased the poison generation speed. The Thunderstorm decreased damage. Bubble Shower decreased the damage and poise damage. Icomon the Kneel increased the poise value during the active part of the skill but decreased the poise generation speed. The Bloodborne Ritual decreased the generation status buildup. And for the final ones, the Loretta Slash, that decreased the poise generation speed. The Bear Witness increased damage and poison damage. The Contagious Fury decreased the amount of attack power generated by the skill. And now here we have some bug fixes. I'll just slowly scroll down this and you guys can go ahead and read along with me. It's nothing really too much that I really need to go in that's going to be too big of, a talking point here, but just some bug fixes that many of you may have came across while playing the game. Like, for example, the inventory menu added the amount of FP consumed for a skill in the Ashes of War display information, which is actually quite useful. Reduced the time it takes for some gestures to become concealable by rolling. Adjusted an input speed in some menus, which as a conversion menus to prevent accidental skips. Fixed a bug that caused damage to the player and friendly summons when using the last right skill under specific circumstances. Just a lot of bug fixes here that you can go ahead and read for yourselves. Some are going to be quite good, some you're not going to mention or really see at all while you're playing the game. For example, let's just have a look right here. For example, the fixes a bug that prevented marking sites of grace in the map menu under certain circumstances. I've not really had this issue, so a lot of these you guys are not gonna really notice, but hey, as long as they're doing some changes here, that's great. And we have some Steam only adjustments for you Steam players just like me. Change the initial layout of key settings and keyboard. I mean, it's nothing really crazy here. And fix the bug where a submenu with no items would display after a right click during the tutorial. And that is pretty much it for this update. A lot of changes, a lot of nerfs, a lot of buffs, and, all round some pretty good changes here. Let me know down in the comments what you actually think about this update. The DLC should be releasing at midnight today, so I will definitely be up and gaming all night and getting as many videos out for you guys as soon as I can. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this, how you feel about Elden Ring's new DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree, and if you are going to be playing it. I will see you all very soon.